Hey, in this video, I'm going to share 6 lazy use cases for which I have been using ChatGPT for the last few months. Unless you have been completely out of touch with the world around you, ChatGPT and the underlying large language models are revolutionizing the way we live forever. Alright, let's start off with the very first one. This is about retrieving information from a complex text document. So for example, who does not hate the idea of going through a lengthy bill? With ChatGPT, you can simply copy and paste your bill and it will put all of the information you need. Here is how I have used it. For this example, I'll be looking at a phone bill which has a ton of phone call data coming in. I don't really need to do anything in terms of figuring out how this data is structured and stuff. I literally just come in, copy, and come into ChatGPT and give it a prompt. So say, take out all the call details from the following data. I need date, time, and location. All right, and then I'll literally copy paste the entire data that I had. Let's see what this is. So it has started to give me data in a beautiful format, but something that I might not like. So I'll just stop this here. I'll say, I need that in a table format. Let's see what it does now. All right, so this started to come up. Super cool, beautiful table data that we have. So now you can do like further manipulation with this data. For example, I can ask it to give me only certain type of data. So I'll say I only need data when direction is out. Let's see what that does. It'll start to filter out all the roads where the direction was in and only keep the ones where the direction is out. This is super cool, but seems like the direction column is somewhat redundant because it only have the exact same value. The location kind of seems to be the same, but it definitely will have different values. One thing we actually forgot is like, can you please add phone numbers for each row? So this way it will also add where did we call to. So this way it will also add number we called at. And then the next thing we want to do here is we want to remove the direction column because it kind of shows some redundant data. So what I will go ahead and say, okay, remove the direction column and make it a heading over the table. Let's see what that does. Let me stop this and start on the next prompt. Beautiful. So it added a nice little heading and also removed the column from here. So these are the kind of the manipulations that you can easily do with ChatGPT. If you have an unstructured data, just copy paste it over to ChatGPT. There is a token limitation in place, but other than that, there isn't any other limitations. I also tried manipulating it in like several different ways. For example, asking it to sort the data in certain ways in which ChatGPT kind of failed, but this in itself is amazing result. You can literally copy paste this over to any Excel sheet that you have. ChatGPT can also help you learn from books without having to read them. For instance, you can search for a chapter name in a book and get all the relevant information instantly. Here is how to do it. So the first prompt I will give it is like, find me chapter names of the book Atomic Habits. Atomic Habit is a very famous productivity book if you haven't heard of it. Let's see what this does. So it starts to give me some details of the book, and I'm hoping it will also give me chapter names with some level of details for each chapter. So then started pulling in all the information from the book, like the high level details of each of the chapters. Likely stop it here because let's assume for a second that you only want to focus on a particular chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then summarize all the sections in that chapter. So I have a prompt for that. So I'll say, let's focus on chapter 4 only. I need you to summarize all the sections in that chapter. Let's see what this does. So it's obviously telling us that it does not have direct connection to the book, considering it does not have an internet connection. It cannot make calls to a certain URL to get the specific details, but whatever it has in mind, it's going to start showing up. So this is basically for each of the sections. It started giving us the summaries. So the next step of learning from this book, or specifically from this chapter, what I would ask you is some sort of action item. Let's see what this does now. So one interesting fact here is it has kind of removed the summary for each section. It's giving me some techniques, but not the actual summary of the chapter. What I can actually do is stop this guy and say, hey, do not remove the summary that you generated earlier. Under each section, make 2 subsections. One for summary and one for the action items. Let's see what this does now. All right, so here comes the summary of this particular section, and then I'm really hoping that it will give me the exact action items that I can take to follow that particular section. Right, here we go. One last thing to push the limits here is I can also ask it to convert the action items into some sort of like to-do checkbox, and then you can actually copy paste over. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I would actually ask it to do is focus on a specific chapter and then you want some details on that chapter. So I'll stop it and ask it to do that. So what I wo Here you go. This looks super awesome. Each action item has its own checkbox. This is not clickable in ChatGPT, but I'm really hoping when you copy paste this over to a text editor, this becomes clickable. Awesome, so this is it for summarization. If you are interested in learning a new language, ChatGPT can also show you some basic language examples in any language like Spanish or Arabic, and even help you understand the dialects. Here is how to do it. I am a lover of languages and I really love speaking different languages. I'll start off by giving it some sort of context. Assume you are an expert language tutor and you know more than 10 languages. Teach me some basic sentences in a particular language. This looks great, giving you some sentences using each of the basic phrases, which is super cool. Now I'll move on to a different language. So let me ask it to teach me some Arabic. So these are some high-level terms that are used very commonly in Arabic language, and it's also giving us some sentences, which is again super awesome. The thing with Arabic is it has a lot of different dialects. So it's spoken in the Middle East, but almost every other country has a different dialect of Arabic. There are a few top ones, and I would love to see if ChatGPT can cover those. So basically asking it to cover all the major dialects in Arabic and show me the same result again. Awesome, so now it's telling this is how to say this in Egyptian Arabic versus a different dialect of Arabic. Also, give me locations of where these dialects are spoken. So what it does this time is it actually removed the actual phrases that it gave earlier. It's just giving me details of the location, which is technically not what I want. I want both location details and the terms you taught me. This is looking super cool now. So the location and the phrases that it taught us earlier. This is super awesome. This is exactly what we're looking for. And now I'm going to go with my favorite thing to do in ChatGPT is converting any data into a table. All right, this is super awesome. It kind of gives you in a more tabular form. And one last thing that I would really ask you to do is bring back those sentences that it gave. Please make sure to add sentences for each of the phrases. Awesome, this is super cool. And the best part about this is also giving English in terms of like what's the meaning of that thing in English. Ideally, what I would really want it to do is give me pronunciation of that in English instead of the actual translation. Give me English pronunciation of each sentence as well. All right, some level of context, and let's see what it does now. All right, so it has gone get back to the listing data. Sometimes you have to work with it. Now forget to give you the meaning. I need both meaning and pronunciation column. I should have said this earlier. All right, this is exactly what we're looking for. It has English pronunciation and it also has the meaning in English. This is super awesome. Do you hate reading long documents? ChatGPT can help you there too. Simply copy and paste your document or even a YouTube video transcript and ask ChatGPT to summarize it for you. Here is how to do it. Here is a documentation about a programming language called Mojo. I want ChatGPT to summarize it. So I literally come here and copy paste the facts page, not the whole page because ChatGPT has token limits. Now I'll go ahead and say summarize the following text. I could literally copy paste the text after this, but I would also give it some context. Summarize the following text, which is about a programming language, right? We'll copy paste that, and then it provides me high-level summary of high-level key points of what that page says, right? Again, you can go like deeper into this and ask it to like give you some specific details and how things are used in this language and stuff like that, but I think it's good for this example. All right, so let's take another example. In this example, I'll go to a YouTube video and look at the transcription of this video. So literally copy paste the transcription and come back here to ChatGPT and ask it to summarize this particular video. So I'll say, can you summarize a YouTube video transcript below, right? And literally copy paste the entire transcript. Let's see what it does. So this is the high level summary of the entire video. So if you want to learn everything that's in there, you can ask ChatGPT to turn it into a bullet list or ask for some action items as well. So now I will go ahead and say turn the learnings into a bullet list and give me some action items. And here you go. This is super accurate based on my understanding of the video. I've already watched the video in the past and this seems to be super cool. So let me show you how I have used ChatGPT to get quick answers and compare that to Google. Alrighty, so this next example is very near and dear to my heart. This is when I have to ask very basic questions. For example, I go to Google and I'll say, give me video length on social media for short format. This is exactly what I'm looking for, right? So if you look at Google's answer, video length on social media for short form content, it gives you between 3 seconds and 1 minute, but this is like a lot of detail, and it's obviously asking me to go to these links and get some information where it can show you some ads and make some money. Come back to your friend ChatGPT. I will literally copy paste the exact same question here. Let's see what this does. Isn't this super awesome? It's giving you the exact details of what am I looking for. But this is also too long for me, so I'll ask you to keep it super short and keep it in table, my favorite thing to do, in 2 columns. And this is exactly what I was looking for earlier. So now that you know the length of short format content across platforms, you can actually go crazy extreme. You can actually ask it to publish a short form content for you and give it a topic. And since now it already shows you the length of each platform, we can also like verify if it's going in the right direction or not. One more thing I can ask it to do is ask the same question. Also mention the duration per platform and give me a bullet list and say something crazy with some emoji per sentence, something like that. So now it's giving you these amazing emojis, which kind of give you some hint on what you can show as you speak this particular sentence. But again, this is exactly what I was looking for, but Google couldn't do it. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one. If you are looking to lose weight, ChatGPT can even create a 7-day meal plan for you or generate a grocery list based on your budget and location. To sum it up, ChatGPT is my go-to for both quick answers and fun activities. It's like having a virtual friend always available for you to chat. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a go and add some lazy but crazy fun to your day. Moving on to the next example, all of us wants to live healthy and happy. So I would actually ask my friend ChatGPT to prepare a 7-meal plan to lose weight. Alright, so I started doing its stuff, giving you some specific details. Very quickly looking at this, I feel like it is not giving me enough carbohydrates and proteins, which is what you would expect from ChatGPT. Really? So I would ask it to prepare me the exact same thing, but very specific details about the percentage of carbohydrates I want and proteins and fat and everything else. Alright, so it has definitely updated the entire list, keeping the information that we gave in view. Let's go super complex on this one now. Let's bring in budgeting constructs and the location that you live in and ask it to give you some sort of grocery list, right? So here's a prompt for that. So my budget for bi-weekly grocery is $190 is too much, $100, and I live in San Francisco. Generate me a list of groceries I can buy with this money. I have to support a family of 4, so 2 female, 2 male, all above the age of 25. This looks awesome. So we can literally take this to a grocery shop and buy all that stuff. I hope someone would build an automation where this goes to my Instacart account and then this is just ordered for me. That's not very far, by the way. Go Google ChatGPT plugins and you will see a lot of crazy stuff that people are building at this point. All right, one last thing to conclude the video is I would do my favorite thing, convert this into a table. Super cool. Now I know the exact proteins that I need to buy: grains, fruits, dairy, alternatives, pantries. All right, so there you have it, the 6 ways I have been using ChatGPT on a day-to-day basis. I hope you find these lazy use cases of ChatGPT helpful and that you'll start incorporating them into your daily routine to save time and effort. That's all what's there in the AI Air today. I'll see you in the next one.